What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. I hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. So, first of all, good morning, everybody. This morning, I wanted to talk about a situation that's personal to me, right? As many of you all know on this channel, my son has an autism diagnosis, which is why I wear this puzzle piece pendant, which is a symbol of autism, right? I actually got on my shirt representing my son today, right? Um, but anyway, I wanted to talk about the irregular sleeping patterns of a child with an autism diagnosis. I wanted to speak on that because that is something that my son deals with, right? My son, Malcolm Jr., he officially was diagnosed with autism at 2 years old. No, three. I'm sorry, three. Three. He's four now. He's officially diagnosed with autism at three. But me and his mother had already saw the signs of him having autism prior to that, around when he turned, leading up to 2 years old, right? But anyway, when I'm on live stream, and I'm live streaming, a lot of times you all notice, sometimes I live stream late at night, 9:30, 10 o'clock, and you all see my son is up at the time that I'm live streaming. He's, walking around, he's drinking his juice, he's, eating or playing with toys and things of that nature. And the reason why he's up is because me and his mother have to play the long game with him as it pertains to his sleep. You see, an average child, they will go to sleep at 7:45, 8 o'clock, and they will sleep throughout the whole entire night, right? And they good to go. If my son goes to sleep at 7:45 or 8 o'clock, he's bound to wake up at 1 in the morning, probably 2 in the morning. And when I'm talking about waking up, he won't wake up and just want something to drink and go right back to sleep. No, he'll wake up like with a ball of energy, ready to run around and play, and he's laughing, and he want to go get some toys out of the toy box. He want to go jump on his little trampoline in his room. He want to do all type of stuff, right? It's not just a let me just go back to sleep real quick. He's ready to watch a movie and everything. And so me and his mother figured out we have to play the long game with him. We have to keep him up till at least about 11 o'clock, 11:30 in order for him to sleep throughout the entire night. Now, my son goes to school Monday through Friday. He leaves out of the door about 8 o'clock. So if it's like we cannot let him go to sleep at 7 or 8 o'clock because 7 or 8 p.m. because he's going to wake up at 1 or 2 and then won't go to sleep for hours. For hours after that. Probably won't go to sleep until it's almost time for him to wake up for school. And that's something that we can't have. So, and a lot of parents of a child with an autism diagnosis, they experience this. One of my Facebook friends, she has a daughter with an autism diagnosis, and she spoke about how irregular the sleeping patterns are, her daughter's sleeping patterns are, and how it affects the way she can sleep at times, and she works a job. And that's the reality for parents of a child with an autism diagnosis. I'm currently unemployed right now, but my son's mother, she's employed. So she'll you got to get him to go to sleep late so that she can get rest and rest up for work. When I was working, it was the same situation with me. I have to get him to go to sleep late in the day, late at night, in order for him to sleep throughout the night so that I can get sleep and so that I won't be woken up to my son having a ball of energy. For real. When my son goes to school, my son come home. If he don't go to sleep by like 2 or 3 o'clock, if he don't take a nap by then, because he takes a nap. Sometimes he takes a nap after school, a lot of times, right? If he doesn't go to sleep by 2, 3 p.m. and he stays up till about 5, we won't allow him to go to sleep. We'll just keep him up. Because if my son goes to sleep at 5 o'clock, he bound out to wake up to about 8 something, and at that point, he gonna be on 10. He gonna be ready to, he'll stay up to probably about 2 in the morning at that point. So we have to play the long game with him. You know, if he go to sleep at 2 o'clock, he'll wake up at 5. We cool. We cool. By 11:30, he ready to go back down around that time. But if we let him go to sleep, and again, like I said, if we let him go to sleep at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock for a nap, no good. So we keep him up late in order to, so that he's well rested and so that I can be well rested. And the same thing for his mother, so she could be well rested, you know, because it'll have you up in a frenzy, you know, and a lot of parents experience this. And also, because I know some people are going to ask this, my son at 2 years old, he had his adenoids removed and his tonsils removed so he can sleep better, because my son was having some sleep apnea. He was having some breaks where he was not breathing during his sleeping at times, some gaps where he wasn't breathing. And we got a sleep study done on him, because then he would also snore like a grown man. So we got the tonsils removed and the adenoids removed, right? And he doesn't snore anything like that anymore. But still, the sleeping patterns are irregular. Even though he's breathing better and he's not snoring loudly, it still exists. And so, yeah, we have to manage that in a different way. And I'm making these videos and talking about it because, you know, I've spoken about how far research and information dealing with autism has come. But yet and still, it's not, well, it's becoming more talked about in the Black community now because you're seeing children with autism diagnosis more often. But even amongst Black fathers, you don't see many Black fathers on YouTube discussing parenting a child with an autism diagnosis. It's mostly the women, the mothers. And so I wanted to give my perspective as a father and also let other fathers know that, you know, hey, I'm dealing with similar things. We all in this journey. I shouldn't say fight, but we're all in this journey together. And I wanted to speak to parents of children with an autism diagnosis, but also fathers, and especially the Black fathers that don't talk about it often, you know, because my son, Malcolm Jr., I love him to life. You know what I mean? So I'm always going to speak about him and his journey with everything, you know. We had my son in early intervention therapy when he turned two years old. And then, you know, now he goes to a school with children, for children with an autism diagnosis or developmental delays. So he can experience being in certain therapies, and he can get the therapies that he needs in order to progress, right? And in previous times, autism is not new. There are a lot of people who just spectrum is broad. So there are a lot of people, older adults, who have autism and weren't properly diagnosed or didn't get the help that they needed, because a lot of times in the Black community, we didn't want it to seem like our child something was wrong with our child, or, you know, that they had a developmental delay. We wanted to a lot of parents didn't want to accept it. And so they let their children grow up into adults not getting the help that they really desperately needed. And so me and my son's mother, we didn't want that to be the situation or the case for our son. So we went and got him help immediately when we noticed things that we felt like were concerning. But yeah, man, the sleep irregularities, it's a for real thing. And I'm making these videos too for the extended family of individuals who have if you have a child in your family who has an autism diagnosis. So you can be aware of these things, because I feel like if you're not in a house day to day with a child who has an autism diagnosis, a lot of people wouldn't understand it. Even your parents or your grandparents or your siblings, they don't understand because they're not dealing with it every single day. The parents, we're dealing with it and we're seeing it all the time. So we know exactly what's going on and how to handle our child. And I make these videos so that the extended family understands, you know, what's going on with the child. And also, man, I feel like what we don't talk about is that parents of children with an autism diagnosis, you know, we work in these jobs, and I'm not working currently, but I was. And sometimes your employer does not understand what you're dealing with because they're not facing it. So they don't know that, hey, when I get off work, my child got to go to therapy. When not when I get off work, but also, yeah, sometimes when I get off work, my child got to go to therapy, or my child was up all night long, so I'm exhausted because the sleep irregularities, we're trying to figure it out and trying to get it down to a science. Me and my son's mother had to figure it out, man, okay, we noticed you go to sleep later, he'll stay asleep all night versus go to sleep early. He's going to be back up and jumping around and having the time of his life at 1 and 2 in the morning. And while I love watching my son smile, I love seeing him laugh, I love seeing him giggle, I don't like seeing it at 1, 2 in the morning when I'm groggy, when I'm sleepy, and when I want to just go back down to sleep and crash, because he going to be up and in it, So, yeah, I wanted to talk about that because, sometimes you see your child with your mom and your grandma, she wondering why he can't go to sleep. He not going to sleep. Why he waking up in the middle of the night? Why he waking up? So you like, you got to keep him up late. You got to let him stay up late. It's been times where I've been up with my son, and my son to be in the bed with me, and I'll turn on his favorite cartoon, have his little snack in the bed with his drink, and it's let's say it's like 11 something, and I'm dog tired. I'll fall asleep on him, and by the time I wake up, he's asleep in the bed. He sleep right next to me. He won't get out of the bed while I'm in the bed asleep, so I know he won't. So, but yeah, he eventually fall asleep, so it's these certain things we got to figure out while parenting a child with an autism diagnosis. And the journey is a beautiful journey, and I'm proud of my son and the progress that he's made. But I wanted to make this video to spread awareness and information about children with an autism diagnosis.